President Trump meeting with top Justice Department officials to address the ongoing Russia probe investigation. This comes after the White House requested the Inspector General to expand the probe into allegations of an FBI informant in the 2016 campaign, as well as reports of misconduct. Fox News' Martha McCallum got Vice President Mike Pence's take on allegations of spying and infiltrating during his campaign.
The Department of Justice has made it clear that they'll be expanding the Inspector General's current investigation to include these allegations. And, you know, we don't know what happened. We read the press reports, but it's all very troubling. It's all very troubling to those of us that hold the FBI in such high regard, that there are even allegations that people were assigned to surveil or even spy on our campaign.
Joining us right now to talk more about that is the editor-in-chief of Axios, Nick Johnston. Nick, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Your reaction to all of this?
I mean, I think this is a lot of sort of unpacking what's really going on here. These are some really unprecedented steps of the president doing what he did over the weekend, demanding the Department of Justice look into these allegations. But I think it's really important to look at how this expanded investigation is being framed, whether these were politically motivated or improper attempts to infiltrate or surveil the Trump campaign. Remember, what prompted all these kinds of things were how the Trump campaign officials were behaving in regards to these Russian contacts. That's what first got the FBI, and look, that's sort of what's blown up in this entire Mueller investigation. And so I think it's very important to figure out, like, whether the IG will determine that this was politically motivated or whether there was a justification to have the informant take these steps to sort of look at what the Trump campaign was doing.
Well, I got to tell you, it doesn't look good. I mean, we know from Devin Nunes that there was absolutely zero official intelligence used to actually launch an investigation into so-called collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians. And we know about the bias at the top of the FBI. So it seems appropriate to investigate this.
I don't see anything different about, of course, the investigation seems perfectly appropriate. Like, the IG has total power and ability to go and look at these kinds of things to figure out whether these decisions were made improperly. But there is an element of the politicization on both sides of this that sort of will need some kind of final determination to determine sort of what actually happened. And I think the real question is then when the IG delivers his final report, will both sides of the debate look at that and say, okay, that's a final determination, or will there be more expectations for additional investigation?
And we know that the IG cannot, they don't have subpoena power, prosecution power. So, you know, there are ongoing investigations of this right now in Congress because they're trying to get documents to better understand how, in fact, that investigation was launched into the Trump campaign and why they needed an informant.
Right. And we saw a little bit of movement on that yesterday where the Justice Department agreed to turn over some additional documents to Congress as part of that investigation. I think that'll be a continuing fight. There's always a good tension between the legislative and executive branches on sharing these kinds of documents. We have a very motivated members of Congress looking at this kind of thing, so I think we'll see more of that coming in the future.
And, Nick, you're reporting, Axios is reporting that White House top trade advisor Peter Navarro suggested that the suspected FBI informant on the Trump campaign, he recommended that person for a senior role in the administration. What else can you tell us?
Right. That's not terribly odd to that actually happened during a transition. There are scores of resumes that are forwarded along. But I think what's important to note is to see that how close the informant was involved in a lot of these relationships in the campaign. And, of course, Donald Trump takes this very personally. This is something he's watching very closely. And I think what we learned yesterday about this informant possibly being in the administration just sort of elevates it in his mind to see how close the FBI was following the campaign.
Well, to connect the dots, Nick, you have Peter Navarro, who's been sidelined by Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin in these trade talks with China. So I don't think that it's a leap to suggest that this hurts his standing in the White House even more potentially. I
mean, I don't know if I can unpack it to that conspiratorial level. I sort of can't get to the motivations of those.
This is just knowing personalities.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't get to the motivations on that and whether it makes Navarro look good or bad in Trump's eyes. I think where the president looks at this is he's really concerned about how involved the FBI was and this informant was in looking at the campaign. And I think the news we broke yesterday on Axios just shows that how close that informant was to possibly even being in the administration.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's pretty incredible that this guy can get so close as to actually being recommended for a position in the administration. And, you know, what Devin Nunes said on Sunday was if they actually paid somebody, if somebody was getting paid to go into the campaign, schmooze people, get information, and then go back and report back, that is a clear red line that was crossed. That's what the chairman of the Intel Committee said yesterday on Sunday.
And I think what the IG is going to look at is whether that line was crossed, whether that motivation was for legitimate investigatorial purposes, looking at what the Russians were trying to do to the campaign, or whether there was a political motivation behind it.
Yeah, and there's some question about how or why this informant would be so close to the administration. Was it because of that person's position that had already been established, the career path of that person, or because that person was an informant? And it would seem to me that would matter as to why you got so close to an administration and nearly got a job in an administration.
I think some of the reporting around this informant shows that they have been involved in many Republican administrations, had a long-time career involved in academia and government, so it's perfectly natural that they would be on the list to be considered by the administration for a position.
Nick, House Republicans want a second special counsel to look deeper into Hillary Clinton's personal email server, meanwhile, on the ongoing Russia investigation and the FISA abuses. That's another thing that Devin Nunes is looking at, and we're waiting on this forthcoming IG report about Hillary Clinton's personal email server investigation. What's your take here?
I don't see we're going to get another special counsel. There's been a couple calls by House Republicans for additional special counsels to wander around town and try and uncover things. There isn't a lot of desire, I think, in the administration to follow that up. So I think where a lot of this investigatory action will happen will be on the Hill in those committees.
All right, we will watch. Thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Nick Johnston from Axios there.